We're now going to turn our attention to one of the key transforming operators that's defined in RxJava's Observable class. A transforming operator can transform the values and/or the types that are emitted by an observable. And here we'll be taking a look at the very fundamental map transforming operator. The map operator can be used to transform the item or items that are emitted by this observable. It's passed a synchronous function that can be applied to transform each item that's in the observable stream. This map operator can terminate if the mapper throws an exception. Otherwise, it returns a transformed observable. The number of output items that are returned from map must match the number of input items. So if you have 10 items in your observable stream and you call map, then there should be 10 items that come out of that stream, assuming, of course, that an exception is not thrown. Here's a simple example we'll take a look at later in the case study at the end of this lesson, where we're going to take a big fraction list and use the observable from iterable factor method operator to turn that into an observable. And then we're going to apply the map operator to multiply each of the big fractions in that stream, the observable stream, by some big reduced fraction. So we'll go ahead and do a multiplication here by some constant, and we'll talk about that in more detail later. Map can be used to transform the type and/or the value of the elements that it processes. So it can either do one, transform the value, it could transform the type, or it could transform both the value and the type. Project Reactor's Flux class has a map operator that works essentially the same. So here you can see basically the same code as we saw before, except this time rather than using an observable and the from iterable and the map operators, instead we use Flux from iterable and map operators. So there's quite a bit of consistency with these basic transforming and factor method operators in both RxJava and Project Reactor. The map operator you see in RxJava and Project Reactor is actually quite similar to the stream.map method, or what's called an aggregate operation, that's defined in Java streams. Here's a simple example where we create a list of 3 strings, A, B, and C. We convert that list into a stream, and then we apply the map aggregate operator, or what's often known as an intermediate operation, to uppercase each string that's in the stream. And then we collect the results into a list and return that and store it in a local variable. So this is the end of our first discussion of transforming operators in this part of the course. We will be going into more detail with other transforming operators later, such as flat map and other operators along those lines.